Welcome to Unit 7. This is going to be a slightly different type of organization due to the fact I'm going to be opening both Unit 7 and 8 at the same time. But this video here specifically is going to be on Unit 7, which is on the ANOVA and non-parametric tests. Well, I should probably note most non-parametric tests. We will now run tests that analyze 3 or more population means. The one-way analysis of variance allows us to conduct the hypothesis test of 3 or more population means. When we use data from populations that are separated into categories involving 2 factors, we can use a two-way analysis of variance, a slightly modified version of that. This will allow us to test for an interaction between the factors, test for an effect from the row factor, and test for an effect from the column factor, depending on if we have the first one, and if we don't have the interaction, then we have to test the other two. Then we will study non-parametric tests and how they compare to parametric tests. Our first non-parametric test will be the sign test, involving matched pairs, nominal data, or the median of a population. The Wilcoxon sign rank test will be applied to data that involves matched pairs. The Wilcoxon rank sum test will be applied to data involving 2 independent populations. Finally, we will apply the Kruskal-Wallis test to data involving 3 or more independent populations. And one of the biggest aspects about those non-parametric tests is that they do not have the strict requirements that the parametric tests have. Some objectives for this unit include to calculate and interpret one-way and two-way ANOVAs, contrast non-parametric tests with parametric tests, translate data into signs and perform a sign test on the data, perform Wilcoxon sign rank tests on matched pairs data, perform Wilcoxon rank sum tests on 2 independent samples, and perform Kruskal-Wallis tests on 3 or more independent samples using ranks of data. And this, from our textbook, is all of Chapter 2, which is just 2 sections long, on the one-way and two-way ANOVAs respectively. Chapter 13, the non-parametric chapter, we're doing most of those in this particular unit. Basics of non-parametric tests, sign test, Wilcoxon sign ranks test for matched pairs, Wilcoxon rank sum test for 2 independent samples, and the Kruskal-Wallis test for 3 or more samples. There's a whole bunch of additional content that you can review about these different tests and procedures, along with several other videos other than these ones that I'm making, of course. The Unit 7 discussion board. This one, non-parametric tests are useful when our data fails the assumptions necessary to perform parametric tests. And for this discussion board, we want to choose a parametric test and a non-parametric test that closely resembles that parametric test, and compare them. How are they similar? How are they different? And then, in response to your peers, when do you think you could use the parametric and non-parametric tests that your classmate wrote about, and then include a topic from your major? The second project that was first noted previously in Unit 5 is going to be due here in Unit 7. The second project due by this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and you would just put that project into this section on here in order to submit that for grading. And then the problem set that we have is for both Units 7 and 8. That way, you only have to actually fill out one homework assignment, and since both units have to be opened up anyway at the same time, it's going to be slightly helpful with that. And as you can tell, we have a variety of lengths. Since these are 2 combined into 1, this particular homework assignment is slightly longer. Right, total of 21 individual questions, some of which, as you can see, have multiple parts. Only have 78 points, though. And I should probably note that the life table that's used near the end of this, let me see if I can find where it starts. Watch me not be able to. Down here, number 18. 18, 19, 20. That life table is this document right here, which once you open up this, and let me do so very quickly in here so we can see that in action. Once it decides to load, of course. Whenever that is. But that's where the life table is. And it's now time to not load. There we go. This particular life table right here is the one that we'll be referring to. And as you can see, it goes from age of 0 all the way to an age of 100 and over. So as you can see, it's very encompassing. Let's call it that. But that's what that life table is, and that's what you'd be using inside of this Unit 7 and 8 problem set. Alright, check out the next video for that discussion of Unit 8. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.